Pierre Berton once said that a true Canadian knows how to make love in a canoe without tipping it. But even a couple out for a quiet afternoon outing can wind up in the water. No matter how skillful the paddler, canoes can unexpectedly capsize in strong winds, high waves, and even wakes from passing boats. So a good skill to master for any paddler is how to right and reboard your canoe in deep water. After capsizing, first it's important to secure the canoe from being carried away by wind and waves until assistance arrives. When another boat is on hand to provide assistance, this is the procedure to follow. The rescuing boat should be positioned perpendicular to the capsized canoe so that it can be progressively slid out of the water until it can be rolled over without refilling. Those still in the water should position themselves at either end of the rescue canoe to provide stability. Once the capsized canoe has been righted and placed back into the water, it's brought alongside and braced for reboarding. Like canoes, the lightweight and narrow nature of kayaks makes them equally susceptible to capsizing. However, unlike canoes, the closed design enabled different tactics to be used to reboard an overturned kayak, and an essential tool in this process is the paddle float. Here's how it works. If you capsize and need to self-rescue, the best tool to use is a paddle float. After you've accomplished a wet exit, ensure that your kayak is upwind so that the boat blows on top of you rather than away from you. Next, flip your kayak upright away from you so that it will take on less water. Once upright, put one leg into the kayak's cockpit to keep control of it. Remove the paddle float from the front deck rigging where it should be stored ready to use, and start by sliding the paddle float onto one blade of the paddle. Inflate the paddle float through the inflation tube. Many paddle floats will have two chambers, one on each side, which helps provide more flotation and stability. Facing aft, use the paddle as an outrigger to support you while you get back into the boat. You do that by putting your ankle over the paddle shaft near the paddle float, pulling yourself up onto the boat, and then putting your leg into the cockpit. Then, using the paddle float for support, turn around in the cockpit to face forward. Take some time to get situated and comfortable. Then, move your paddle forward and secure it for better balance. You can now start on the task of pumping the water out of your kayak before getting underway. Some might argue that there are two types of paddlers, those who have flipped their boats and those that will. So it's a good practice to practice self and assisted rescue techniques. And whenever you head out, always wear your life jacket.